I think we might possibly be able to fire this thing up.
How do we hot wire a Hayabusa?
Hey everyone, and welcome back to CJRaceCars YouTube channel. Today we're over here with our Hayabusa powered golf cart. We got a lot of parts in today. We got a lot of parts in the last week that we'll show you today. And our main goal today is to see if this thing actually runs. We've got some wiring laid out, trying to get everything figured out. Hopefully we have enough stuff to get it fired up. We'll see soon. All right, so we're back over here with our Hayabusa powered golf cart build that we've been working on. After the first video, there was a lot of comments saying they're dangerous, and they're probably going to be dangerous for sure. So our goal with this was to not do it like the other golf carts that you've seen, trying to get it lower, center of gravity lower. It's still going to be dangerous, but trying to make it less dangerous. And we will be putting a cage on it, so in a window net, so that your arms don't flail out if something happens, you're rolling this thing around. Hopefully it doesn't happen. But we got a lot done since the last video. We basically only had this rear cross member in here last time. We added this stuff over here. What we ended up doing is basically this is going to be another rear cross member that we can mount a swing arm to. So the swing arm will mount here, which is with a 1-inch tab, is directly in line with a sprocket, so that it doesn't change the tension of the chain as it goes up and down. So we got all that done. Made a fuel cell. We got a stock pump. So basically trying to keep everything as stock as possible. That way there's not a bunch of stuff with the wiring and electronics to go through to get this thing to run. We don't want to have those issues. The engine is totally mounted now. We made this brace on a laser at a 1/4 inch with some stiffeners. Worked out really good. The front engine mounts, you probably already saw in the last video. So the engine's totally mounted now. And we're gonna start working on the rear suspension. We'll show you guys some parts in a minute. I know in the last video we went over some Junior Dragster stuff, and we decided not to go with most of that stuff, and we will show you why we decided not to go with it and what we ended up going with. We also got the front suspension stuff pretty much done. On the front suspension, we did end up using the Junior Dragster spindles. For this project, the front suspension isn't super critical. We're not looking for like a lot of travel. We're not gonna be running no prep. Honestly, it'd probably be better if it spins a little bit than if it dead hooks. So the only goal with the front suspension is if it wheelies and it comes down, there's something to absorb some of the shock. We're not really looking for it to drop down a bunch, more so when it comes down, it can compress. So we got the front suspension stuff done, and this is what we got. So it's a Junior Dragster spindle, and we made the lower control arms, some laser cut tabs here to the chassis. Again, this is not, we probably get more carried away with everything we do than we should. But we're trying really hard not to get carried away with this so we can get it finished and just have some fun with it. We're not trying to make a rocket ship golf cart that costs $60,000. That's not the goal with this. That's why we bought a $300 golf cart and turn it into something that's probably going to cost $20,000. But anyways, so we got the front suspension done. Like we said, it's probably not going to drop much when you take off, just a little bit, but it's more for compression. So if it comes down hard, you got something to absorb some of the shock there. So this is done. We're working on figuring out a rack and steering situation. Hopefully we'll have that figured out in the next few days. We got tires ordered. We'll show you the parts we got actually right now. Today's video sponsor is BetterHelp. Hopefully our videos are enough to help you guys if you're having a bad day, but if they're not, BetterHelp is here to help you guys. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. First, you go to their site. You can use my link, betterhelp.com/CJRaceCars. You answer a few questions and BetterHelp will match you with a professional that has years of experience helping people struggle just like you. You can do it all from your phone or computer with phone call, video chat, or messaging, however you feel most comfortable. It's the easiest possible way to start talking to a therapist. You'll be matched with a therapist usually within 48 hours, so you can get started pretty fast. Let BetterHelp connect you with a therapist that can support you, all from the comfort of your own home. Visit betterhelp.com/CJRaceCars or choose CJRaceCars at sign up and enjoy a special discount on your first month. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. Going back to the parts, there's a lot of options we probably had. We could have done fuel tech, or we could have done some other ECU and gauges and everything else. Trying to keep it simple, trying to use as much of the factory stuff as we could. We found a gauge cluster, so we have an original Hayabusa gauge cluster, which will make it easier. And actually the fuel gauge and everything will work since we use the factory pump. So all that stuff will be nice to have. Front suspension stuff, we just got some cheap shocks, nothing crazy. Like we said, it's just to absorb some of the shock as it comes down. We don't need a bunch of extension, none of that stuff. We got a 50mm hardened axle for the rear. If you watch, this is pretty much 2 inches. I know we got a lot of people that are in metric, so 50mm, roughly 2 inches for the rear axle hardened. In the last video, we talked about using a Junior Dragster axle. which Eric was talking about a 1.25 inch aluminum, which I wasn't too sure would hold the power. So we went this direction. We also used like a go-kart brake. So basically this is like shifter kart stuff. We use a go-kart brake. It's a pretty stout go-kart brake. I think any more braking, honestly, and we would have just had a back tires lock up anyways after that, no more braking power is really gonna help. So I think there's plenty of brake. We got another brake hub. This is for a brake rotor, but we're gonna turn this into the hub that the gear goes on, so I had to make the sprocket. We used go-kart bearings for the axle. So we got 3 of these. 3 of these will go on, or 4, we got 4 of these. They're gonna go on a swing arm in the rear. We're gonna put 2 close to the sprocket. That way there's no way it can flex that because it'll be so close together. The rear wheels, we were gonna use a Junior Dragster B-lock wheel, and the reason we did not use the Junior Dragster B-lock wheel is because they have a 3-bolt hub. And it may have been okay, but the last thing I want to do is break 3 of these studs off while riding a golf cart. It wouldn't be ideal for sure. So we went with basically the same 8x8 wheel, but it's for a Banshee, I believe. So it's still a beadlock wheel. It's just got a lot more studs. So hopefully we won't break those. Hopefully we won't break anything, because I know we talked in the last video and we said if it broke an axle it wouldn't be that big a deal, but I don't know about you, but I don't want to be on a golf cart going 100 miles an hour and break an axle. So we're going to do everything we can to avoid breaking anything. If anything breaks, hopefully it's the engine, it just slows down instead of breaking something to cause you to flip this thing over. That's pretty much all the parts. I think we almost have everything. We're waiting on tires, waiting on front wheels. We got to figure out a rack. Other than that, this thing's getting close. We'll be able to make some laps on this thing out here in the parking lot, hopefully, and hopefully no one gets hurt. The last thing for this golf cart that we probably don't need, there's a few guys in the shop that say they're gonna ride it. We got a turbo and it's not gonna be fast enough without a turbo. We're gonna spray it. We're gonna spray it for those guys. I don't think they'll ever even get close to using it without the spray, but for the few guys in the shop that think they can ride it and it needed a turbo, we're gonna have some spraying. So this will be fun. I doubt it'll ever get used or ever be needed, but if we do, we'll see how it goes. Cameron is working on getting a harness together, and I think we might possibly be able to fire this thing up soon, maybe. We don't have an exhaust on it, we don't have an intake on it, and it's probably gonna have a little oil leak where it's got a crack in the head, but it'll be all right. I'd like to see it run, fire it up, and we're just that much closer to seeing it done.
That big tail's in it. It's probably that right there. This might all be your tail lights. Here's we got the ECU up here too with the battery. What? Schematic? Probably. That'd probably be smart. Yeah.
What's that?
The wire diagram. It's a cheat sheet.
I can't read. You need more pictures on there.
This is gray and red. That's number 4. This is some so it's like this. Yeah.
See what happens when you let a Nissan guy work on stuff.
Yeah. I don't deal with bikes. Black gray, number 1, and white.
Gray, dark gray. What did I say when I walked up?
What?
Put it on backwards.
Yeah. Fancy. The clutch position switch is right here.
But then the tilt sensor.
That's black and yellow or blue and yellow.
It's normally we just cut the wires and splice them together. They'll wear out, so they'll bounce when you ride.
One eternity later.
The clock. That's the only thing that works currently.
Hello YouTube. How do we hot wire a Busa?
He's actually right. You do have to use a resistor in the ignition circuit, or you'll damage the ECU.
I'm sorry. I'm not saying this on camera. I've had it passed.
I do much gooder now.
The black is the ground wire. The orange is the power. Do not touch the orange thick wire and the black together.
Yes.
Under no circumstances.
Too late. Challenge accepted.
So if you do, it'll blow the fuse. It'll blow the 30 amp fuse.
You said red, brown.
The red, brown, and gray.
gray. There's no like gray in here. There's a green and black.
No, this is a 2005. I don't know if it's the same.
No.
It's not.
Oh.
Is that the first gen?
08. Yeah.
So 08 up to now is
Yeah.
the.
You need to look for second gen.
This is wrong. So Paul was still in the 2005 models.
Allegedly. Allegedly. Pulling my ignition out of my bike so we can get that golf cart started. Yeah, he's still going to get gapped though. Hold the flashlight still, damn it, Bobby.
These guys are wild over here on this side of the wall. A lot of people asked about why we got a wall up. It's because you gotta keep these guys away from the stuff on the other side.
Misfit Island.
Yay! Wires look the same color, right?
Yeah, they're the same color.
I don't know. Johnny said as long as the colors were the same, it would be fine.
Oh, okay.
Except this has one more wire than mine has.
I don't know.
I'm not sure if this is actually going to work. Missing that one wire, I don't know what that goes to, but...
Did it actually, the connector go all the way in there?
Yeah, I think so.
Partially? Good enough?
Close enough to try. No good. It's not going all the way in.
Yeah, it's hitting.
Look at the center pieces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's straight, and that's... Even looking at it. We can get it close enough to touch.
Yeah,
Lick your fingers and stick them in there and see what happens.
We got a jumper wire here, and we're gonna try to start this thing up. Well, unfortunately, we were not able to get it started. We should have the part soon and be able to get it running. If we can't, we're just gonna swap this engine into the golf cart while Josh is not here and not tell him. We'll just put that one in there and that'll be it. All right, that's gonna do it for today's video. Unfortunately, we were not able to get this thing running, but the next video we post of this, it will absolutely be running and will be at least under its own power and move around the parking lot. So look forward to that. Thanks again for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.